Hello, hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to the reading today. Just a little pre-reading message. I'll be on holiday from pretty much this date of this reading. So when it releases, it will be the 11th of November. So 11/11th. I actually, funnily enough, am traveling on the 11th of the 11th. Just the way it came through with travel. So I'll be away for a while. However, I'm going to pre-record, just like this one, some readings for you. And I hope that they will come as some kind of like peace and happiness and light in your life while I'm away. And I'll be back in December to continue reading. However, you shouldn't see that there will be any changes besides the community day readings will be not up because I won't be doing those community days. So, regardless of that, I'll be doing a reading for you today in regards to calm. It's not really coming through with a very clear header right now. I will create one for this reading after it's uploaded, of course. However, this one is touching in on remaining calm, remaining sovereign in your emotions, not buying into any dramas. I know by this time around the world, especially in the United States, there will be an election which should have come through with a result, I assume, right? This is all very assumptive. Who knows what's going to happen between then and now and then. And this is just too interesting. A crow just landed in the front yard. A couple of crows. Oh, no. It looks like a magpie and a crow. Maybe they're both magpies. Anyway. What is it? Goldfish, distracted mind. So we'll be doing a reading in regards to that. Remember, regardless of what results or what happens and what you wanted and what other people may have wanted, your power is your power. Give it away at your own peril. Remain sovereign in your own power. Regardless, you're still you. You're going to be able to go to work, do your thing, do your life, live your life, and regardless of what's happening around the world, even in your community, if you have to take command or do anything, take command and do what you need to do. But don't buy into or spend your good, beautiful energy in places that don't need it. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get some cards. Interesting, the magpie and the it looked like a crow and a magpie. They may have been both magpies because they kind of look similar from what I can see. I'm kind of seeing through some bushes, not seeing them clearly. But one seemed pretty black and the other one was black and white. To me, magpies represent truth and clarity, and crows are like messengers or travelers through time, right? Travelers through dimensions. So interestingly enough, this is going to be pre-recorded, so I guess this is a message coming from the past and to remind you that regardless of what happens in the future, this is still relevant. Okay. Just another little side note. This deck that I created will be available, not really to buy yet, but maybe, I haven't even got this up, but maybe I'll have a link or something. Check out the description if you are interested in this one. This one I haven't fully given even a name yet. It's going to be like travelers or journeymen or something like that around like going on an adventure. Going on an adventure and traveling through different places and myths and legends. So this may be available to view and it will be launched in the future. So if there's a link in the description, I'll make it pretty clear. So click on that if you are interested in even just looking at the cards and seeing what you see within them. Okay, enough distractions. Let's get into the reading. Pile 1. Take this one and this one. Okay, so it's a bit of light shine here. I'll just move it to the side. So these will be the 3 cards for pile 1. You have the Moonstone with female fertility, calming emotions, attracting new love and growth. For pile 2, you have the Argon star clusters with earth healing, grounding, stress relief, and vitality. For pile number 2, you have the titanium rainbow quartz with awakening all chakras, ultimate manifestation, vibrancy, and powerful shift. Alright, these will be your 3 piles today. Also, during the reading, I'll just let you know, I am listening to healing sound frequencies. They are bowls, you know, the singing bowls. And this is to, it says on here, reset your nervous system, and it is to release anxiety. So I really do hope that this is what I'll be channeling through, this energy. This is you won't be able to hear it in the background because I want to respect the person's, you know, creations. But if you wanted to go check her out, I don't know her, I don't have any affiliation with her, I'm just listening to her. Her name is Irene Athanasou, and she is on YouTube, and she has sound bath or sound singing bowls. So definitely check her out if you are interested in listening to it while perhaps you're listening to the reading as well, if you're able to have multiple windows open, or if you're on your phone, then, you know, listen here and then maybe check it out after. But these will be your 3 piles. In the description below, you'll be able to jump to your video. So I will see you in your reading. Hello, welcome to your reading today, pile number 1. So you've chosen probably the perfect card for this theme of reading, right? Staying calm, releasing anxiety, not getting into the drama of things. And I probably talk about that a lot. However, if that's going around at the moment, then of course I'm going to talk to it, right? But you've got the beautiful Moonstone. I do love Moonstone. You have a necklace somewhere. Oh, here it is actually. It's got a little dolphin on it. And this has got a little moonstone in here. I do also have a ring, but it's a little bit busted. It's gone through the wars, let's say. So you have female fertility, calming emotions, attracting new love and growth. See, this is a growth opportunity regardless of what's going on. I did talk to the elections, right? And whether you're in the United States or not, doesn't really matter. Sometimes it just impacts or affects. There's been a lot of elections going on lately, and I mean that in the whole world, right? There's been, I think France had one, there's like other countries had one, there's something in the UK. We just had one in Queensland, where I live in Australia, in October, right? At the end of October, we had a change of leadership. And so, regardless of what's happening in the world, you decide where your energy goes. You decide how much of your energy needs to be taken away by something. I see far too many people seeing it as doom and gloom and the worst time in the world and blah, blah, blah. And it's really not. We're in a much more safer place than we were in the past. There's still lots of things going on, right? And we're seeing a lot of things, but it's great when we see toxic things or dark things or negative things brought to the surface and shined a light on, because then we can deal with it. Then we can call it out. Then we can start processing it and healing it. So never see anything that's deemed toxic or negative as always a bad thing. Sometimes it's good when it gets called out. Okay, like I said with this deck, this is a deck I created with the help of an artist, not an AI artist, with an actual artist from the Philippines. So yeah, hopefully I'll have the launch ready to launch on Kickstarter or wherever I decide to put it in the notes below. However, we'll see. Sometimes things change, right? So if it's not there, it's not there. But I do have an intention to get this out there. Okay, I'm going to grab, as usual, grab the Oracle cards first, and then after I've pulled the cards, we'll have a look at what's coming up in these cards. I'm going to keep these cards this size. They're just a little bit smaller than a tarot deck, traditional tarot size, kind of like this. They're just a little bit smaller and much smaller than an Oracle deck. It didn't make it more cheaper or more expensive. It's just like the best fit to have, I don't know, in the hand. It felt right. And using less paper is always good. Okay, so let's take a look at your reading part 1. You've got Benevolence. Really nice here. I will actually read this one. I think I'm probably going to read all of the Chibi angels that come out today. This is from the Chibi anime angel cards by Dawn Brown. Kind of an interesting one. Lovely message, and within the cards comes sometimes a little bit of a punch, considering, you know, Zadkiel's coming out with like all these little mystery gifts. It kind of looks like. Just want to see, and they're also highlighting Jupiter here as well. Okay, Benevolence. So Zadkiel. Zadkiel represents the righteousness of God and guides humanity to act in accordance with divine and mortal laws. The energy of this angel is of mercy and benevolence. Zadkiel seeks to restore everything to its highest vibrational form. This is a great message, right? Because you are an emotionally sensitive being. And it's not a negative, it's literally your superpower. Sometimes it can be overwhelming, but it also stops you from getting into a numb state or into like an emotionally dead state, right? That may have happened in the past. You might have gone through highs and lows with that, but this is talking to bringing back equilibrium regardless of what's happening, especially if there's like a lot of high emotions at this time. Take it as an 11/11 portal gate. You might be watching this on the 10th of the 11th, depending on where you are in the world. I probably will be releasing it. My time, in Australian Standard Time, will be the 11th of the 11th. It says here, receiving this card today indicates that your faith needs to be restored in the universe as a loving, generous force. Zadkiel helps you appreciate the gift of living and asks that you focus on gratitude for your life. Focusing on gratitude will align you with divine essence. Perhaps you have experienced great suffering and carried guilt for the cause of that suffering. Or perhaps you have attributed blame to others and sought vengeance. This is a time to understand the toxicity of carrying around negative attachments and to clear them from your vibrational field and replace them with beliefs that serves our highest purpose. It's a whole lot of release here, isn't there? And a whole lot of growth. Like the growth is really standing out with this, potentially from where you've been in the past, what you've gone through, what you've experienced. And sometimes what we experience causes us to go and overcome those and become even better, or they become so heavy and we go into that, like it said, act of revenge or spite, right? Or bitterness, and start to really stew. And what we stew, or like what we put in our pot of, in our food pot, is kind of like if it's rotten, then it infects everything. So if we hold on to that rotten apple within us, the whole landscape the disease spreads, I guess, into other parts of our body. So it's a really good time to connect with like the power of your emotions and what's trying to pull you into what direction. Try not to blame anything. Don't blame a person. Don't blame a country. Don't blame, anything. This is really about, okay, what do I what do I need? What am I holding on to that's just not even mine? It could be someone else's, or it could be something that I don't need to hold on to now, because this will really help. Like I said before, with like bringing it into the light, shows the light, shows shows that thing that was in the shadow into the light. And we don't want to put like hate or anger or towards it, because it'll just sink back down into the darkness. We want to recognize it and start to transform it. Whether it's ours, whether it's a societal thing, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, we want to transform it into something helpful, healthy, and more benevolent, really. You've got the overseers and the mirror. This talks about monitored, controlling, and boundaries. This could talk to something that's happened in the past with boundaries, and whatever's happening in your world now or on the news could be triggering those boundaries and into fight or flight, right? I see the fight or flight mentality popping out a lot in comments. Sometimes it's even silly things, right? It's like, this is all fake, or this is all true, or whatever. And it's like, sometimes the thing they're saying is all fake is actually true, and sometimes the thing they're saying, oh, it's definitely 100% true, the magpie's back. The thing that's 100% true is, it's just so funny talking about truth when I was talking about the magpie coming through early on in the shuffling, and then it's just interesting. Anyway, no, sometimes the thing that's actually true is that that they believe is actually true is actually fake. So it's getting like, what do people really believe? It's like, what can we believe is kind of like what's coming along, and it's like, well, regardless of what's true and what's false, what do I feel is right for me in this moment? You're allowed to believe in something, recognize that it was incorrect in the future, and then change. You don't want to like be blind to the actual truth and be like, well, I've already gone on this path. I can't now change who I am or where things are or my mindset on this because of what I've done here. Forgive, grow, move on. That's how we grow. We allow ourselves to make mistakes. And all those kind of things. We allow others to make mistakes as well. Of course, call out what needs to be called out. Don't be a doormat. This is not where the message is going. It's going towards, where is my mind? Where is my focus? What do I need to do to bring peace into my life today? How can I do this thing right now, not in a year's time or in a week's time? Or if I had this, I could do this. No, what can you do now? What do you need to be grateful for? Do you have a house? Do you have a place to sleep? Do you have a bed? Do you have food? All those things. We take granted for a lot of that stuff. Even if you watch a lot of period films, right, back in the day, and they didn't have plumbing, right, and these were like the wealthiest of the wealthiest. And like now, those wealthy people, they may have like big houses, but I wouldn't want to live like them, even if there was like the most richest person, because they don't have what we have. So we are in a much better place, even as middle class, or even lower than some of the people that were wealthy and rich, right? All sorts of different things. Okay. You also have the Buff Priest and Honeypot with organizations, history, and weird. The weird part is probably popping up pretty strongly here. It's just like, but why does this happen? Why do humans do this? How can I be grateful for something that's happening that someone else has done? How do I reconcile that? It's not so much about them, so to speak. It's like, how do you feel and want to look at it now? Do you want to keep it in shadow? Do you want to bring it into the light so you can process it? Do you need to focus in on it? Just because something's happening over here with this leader and this leader of this world, right? And they've decided to go in a battle or something like that. Hopefully there's none by this time, but it's just the way of humans sometimes. Like, how can I kind of like reconcile this? You can't really. There's no, unless you go to humanitarian work or that kind of thing, if you really want to get involved. Send money, do whatever is on your mind that you're able to do. But a lot of the time we have no control over, actually I'd say 99% of the time, we have no control over what anyone else does. Unless there's like a baby and we're really trying to like support and help them, right? It's different. But these are adults, you know, doing what they're doing. We have no control over it. So what can I do to improve or light up my corner of the world, my family, my mental health, right? What do I need to do? This is something to think about, and it's not about what I need to do to plan for the future. It's like, what do I need to do now? What one little thing can I do now? Can I say something nice about myself in the mirror? Can I reach out to a friend? What is the actual truth? Am I focusing in on something that may be true to the world, but not true to my reality right now? I don't have to deal with this toxicity or this energy because it's going to infect me. And I don't need to have a rotten piece of fruit with my, you know, within my orchard. So be aware of where you're getting suckered into, because this is kind of like stuck in as well. The honeypot gets sticky, right? Kind of like a honeypot in spy terms. When someone's running a honeypot, they're like an attractive person trying to seduce another person into divulging personal information or like private information, right? So that kind of thing. So it's like, you know, it's just like it's distraction. It's basically a distraction. Even if they are organizations, right? Even if they are big companies and stuff like that. How do I change this? Yeah, there's always going to be that one person or that group of people that do something and go along that path. But if you aren't able to get involved in that, or it's not actually within your control or capability, then focusing in on it is going to cause you a lot more pain than it is to resolve anything. Okay. You also have inner earth with the base chakra, strength, security, laying foundations. This is great. I feel like you are kind of unearthing a lot of your feelings and drives and emotions. You might have also been in the past someone who kind of, how can I say, just went along with, almost like mimicked someone. It's just, this is how it's coming through. It's kind of like, I don't know who I am, but I like this person, and I'm going to emulate them by copying them, or like not exactly trying to be them, but it's just like, these are skills that I want, I'm going to emulate them. And sometimes that works, and sometimes it like leads us on a path of not being authentically ourselves, right? So unearthing some of that times, and you might look back and be kind of like cringed out by it. That's fine. Just accept it for what it was. It taught you who you are and where you've got to today and where you're at now. So accept that as like, that was the past, that was fine. This reality is now, that's not who I am. I know who I am. I know what I'm going to build up on. I know my strengths and, you know, perceived weaknesses, right? So start laying those foundations and connecting with that truth. Truth is going to be really strong here. And it's going to be the foundation. If you build anything on truth, and then whenever things start falling, it comes back to truth, you're always able to build back up. And it's better to, you know, instead of having truth right at the top and that starts to fall, that's going to clear the whole path. But it's better to build on truth. All right, so you've got Stellar Gateway activation with infinite potential and manifestation vortex. This one here is really beautiful. And you know, we've got the pyramids in the background, it's like ancient knowledge, and we're going into the heart of who you are, which is kind of like, this is almost looking like a head, right? A neck and a head. And this is talking to the heart space or soul. So basically this one is just touching on what you can create, can be created. What you can conceptualize or create in your mind, you're able to produce in reality. How does it serve you and the people around you? How is what you create of service, right? If you really want money, why do you want that money? How would that bring a better world? You don't have to choose it because it will bring in a better world, right? It's got to be true to you. If you want something because you just want it, then just say it. Just say it. But it is a great time to build foundations of, I feel like, quality manifestation, quality creations, a quality you, quality world, that kind of thing. You'd be surprised at what you can actually create, R1. Because your imagination, if you want to call it that, or mind, is super powerful. Your heart is super powerful. Emotions, vulnerability is very powerful. All right, let's see what else your message of calm and peace really want to tell you. Okay, so got the Wheel of Fortune, got the Justice card. This Wheel of Fortune is quite an interesting Wheel of Fortune. There's the zodiacs in there. There's Hebrew, it's oh, okay, this is Malkuth, which is the earth, and this is Keter, which is the crown. Okay, so it's like the tree of life. So Malkuth is like the earth, and Keter is the crown. So it's kind of like the 3D and spirituality. There's definitely much more meanings to it, but Wheel of Fortune is you create your reality, basically. So the mind and the heart, like the soul, I feel like what you connect with is what your higher self is also kind of like dealing with or processing or connecting with. So you're in a good alignment or an attunement, regardless of how you're feeling or what you're going through. If you're going through tough times, your higher self is also with you, you know, standing beside you in this challenge. And if you're going through great highs because of whatever you're feeling, right, that's true too. I feel like the world is coming to a point of needing, this almost feels like a collective reading. It's collective, right? But this almost feels like the collective, like with the justice. There needs to be healing. There needs to be love, not judgment or hate or anger. So really tune off that frequency because it's so old. It's got nothing. It's kind of like someone's dug a pit out in the ground so people can go down there and go back to Colosseum days and start fighting like, you know, like warriors or whatever, or like slaves or whoever else was put in those kind of horrible positions, right? They are kind of just like, you know, they're continuing going on and you have an opportunity to jump back down there, but you're not even in there, so don't look at it. Don't watch it. It's not worth it. Yeah, you've really been focusing on the earth, right? What you can create, what distracts you, what you're fearing, because even here with this like kid in the mirror, he is starting to become aware of the control, right? The people behind the scenes. It's almost like media or something like that. It's like the collective is starting to wake up to the BS in the background, and that's why some people are like, oh, this is definitely false and this is definitely true, right? And whether they're right or wrong, it's probably a good thing that they're questioning these things, even if it's getting them into you know, almost conspiracy mindset. At least they're starting to look at that. Too many people have been too complacent in the past where it's just been like, oh, they would never do that, right? And now we're starting to wake up. But the Princess of Pentacles is understanding her earth sign, right? The magic of earth with her, how she's able to work with it, can be learning and growth. That's why it's popping back up in my heart space, actually, for some reason. It's in the heart center. Is like, it's okay to live and learn and make mistakes and do things that you're not proud of. It got you to where you are now, and even if someone feels that they were in the wrong or in the right, what do you do to overcome that, basically, today? Nice. You're getting into your King of Pentacles era too. Recognizing what you have is enough to create what you want. Because a lot of the time it's within you. It's your own tenacity, it's your own hustle, it's your own determination. It's also your own freedom to be laissez-faire, right? Like what people might see as lazy, but it's like you are recharging your batteries after a lot of like information flying around. Whether it's positive or negative information, still that takes time to discern that fact, right? Whether it is for you or not. Oh, I love this. Especially with justice. This feels really good. For some reason, these two feel like collective messages. And it's like, we're starting to cross over to the next phase or the next world in a more balanced, harmonious way. I mean, I can't see personally what could change in a few weeks when this gets released that would bring on a balance, right, in the world. But even if that energy is out there, which it always is, but if it starts to spread and starts to heal, because just as a rotten fruit can start to infect the collective or the orchard, right, so can like something that's immune to rotting or disease because it's no longer in that environment, it's stepped out of it, and then now it's realized how powerful it is. Like that starts to shine so brightly that just people that are fighting down in the mud pit can look up and they see this bright light, right? And it's like, why am I fighting down here? I could just get out of this. You know, and that person hasn't done anything. They've just decided to break through a limitation that was perceived, not real. They've decided to not focus on what is happening behind this wall and focusing on what they need to really look into for themselves. So yeah, this is like crossing a threshold or crossing a traveling through a portal, something like that. Woo! Okay. Guessing that's the card since it wants to fly around. It's also landing on the Moonstone, so we'll have a look. 7 of Wands. This is literally what I've been talking about. Like, you know, the 7 of Wands is standing on the higher ground while the ones down here are fighting, and it's kind of like, this one's like, pick your battles. Sometimes you don't need to remain down here. You're already on a higher ground, and you can put down the baton, because they can't reach you anyway. They're already at a lower point. They're not going to step out of here to meet you on that level, because once they get out of there, they can no longer feel and think how the world or how their society works down here. They need to stay down here, and they're trying to like argue you to get back down here and fight with us, right? And it's like, no, I'm going to take my baton. I don't know why I'm calling it a baton, but I'm going to take my wand and I'm going to go do my own thing, right? Strut my stuff and do my own thing. And some of them down there will want to follow and fight, but what if they do step out of there, they're going to see a whole new world. So it's really interesting how your reading is kind of turning into this. But hey, maybe you're here to bring in, this is part of your purpose. That's why anything that we see as negative, whether it's like the election and we wanted this person to win and not this person, whoever's winning is winning. I don't know, obviously, because this isn't, I don't have that truth right now. Things change even in small time, so it's, you never know. Lots of things always change, so you know, it's like that. But whatever has happened, don't always see it as just like, why is this happening to me? It's like, what is this trying to tell me? What is this trying to teach me? What can I learn from this? What is now do I need to focus in on? Because regardless, it's going to be a relief that this drama is over, right? That some kind of like political drama is at least over at minimum. I don't know why I'm talking so much about election. I don't try to, but it's just like, I'm not talking about one side's better than the other. I'm talking about regardless of what happens, how can we improve? Whether it is even the person that you want. How do we bring harmony into my family life and friendships and that kind of thing, to really heal whoever feels disenfranchised, whether it's like, you know, they don't even know what they wanted, right? They just wanted to fight. You know what I mean? They just wanted to argue and fight. Don't get pulled into that. If you show them by not necessarily going to them, showing them, but just like living peacefully, happily, trying to support each other. This would be a great opportunity to like get into the community as well. I don't know if that's your job, right? If it's not, it's not. This is supposed to be a thing of calm, but you know, it's ushering in a new world of peace. It would be great if all sides of the world, whether you're on this side, left side, right side, this conflict on their side, that side, it's just like, how do I bring peace into my life and show that this is all possible? Because it really is. All of it is possible. All peace is possible. I 100% believe that. And I feel like humanity could absolutely get to that. So if you see things that get exposed that are really toxic, see that as like an opportunity to grow and learn, and be happy that it now at least that truth has come out and been exposed, rather than hidden in the background where you're getting manipulated, people are getting manipulated. You know, I would rather know if I'm being manipulated than ignorance is bliss. Which I'm sure everyone watching this will agree with as well. But times are changing. Things look good and new. So decide where you want to pull focus from, where you want to forgive yourself from, trust yourself in learning and the growth and what you're bringing in. If this is attracting new love, you know, this could be a new world peace, a new world heart, which would be really beautiful. And I'm going to hope that that's happening, but you know, we'll see. Maybe that's my own mental limitation of just like, really in a few weeks? I don't know about that, but I'm open to it and I would be happy if that came in. So anyway, I'm going to leave that there for you. Pile number 1, this was such a nice reading. And yeah, you're clearly part of this, bringing in this world peace. Bringing it into the collective, so well done to you. No matter where you are in life, be proud of yourself, because you know, your guides, God, whoever you believe in, myself is all very proud of what you're doing in this on this planet, and coming here to this earth has already put you into a position of being a spiritual warrior. So yeah, I'm going to leave that there. Take care of yourself, pile 1, and I'll see you next time. Hello, welcome in pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. So today you've chosen the Argon star cluster with earth healing, grounding, stress relief, and vitality. What an interesting card to come through. There is this energy of needing to chill, right? Like you may be in your head a lot, which is why you've chosen this one to help ground this message in. I'm listening to sound frequencies like I mentioned in the intro, and it is about releasing anxiety. Anxiety is like the 9 of Swords, right? And what does the 9 of Swords really represent? It represents just like in our heads, worrying about things really heavily. So this reading will hopefully help you release and recharge. Release and recharge. You know, whatever you do for your own practices, meditation, going out, standing on grass with your bare feet, looking at nature, even on TV, you know what I mean? Like watching a documentary, like it's really grounding. Is just like getting back into like reality, right? The reality of the 3D. So I hope that helps understand why this card has come through, and probably maybe even why you've picked it consciously or subconsciously. This feels like the calming card for sure. The how to get back into stability. Okay, like I mentioned in the intro, this deck is my deck, and it's been created by me with the assistance of an artist from the Philippines. And so I'm going to put all that details hopefully in the description. Maybe not. It just depends when I actually get everything up and running. So this is the prototype, and I'm going to make some changes. But yeah, we'll see when that comes out. But stay tuned if you are interested. I'll hopefully have a Kickstarter up. And if you're not interested, that's fine. You'll be able to watch me use them here from time to time. Try to use them as much or utilize them as much as I can. but I also want to go with the energy and not try to force any type of card to come through. And today, these are great cards coming through. Not just because they're my cards, right? But also the Chibi anime Chibi angels and the Gateway of Light activation. Feels like this is a good time to remember who you are, not to get caught up in the drama. It's almost funny because like saying, well, then you're talking about connecting with the earth, right? Oops, I'm exploding them. Connecting with the earth, that is the 3D. So how could I not be connecting with it if I'm thinking about it? It's like, this is like physically connecting with it and also knowing where your mind and energy is focused in on. Okay, let's take a look at your cards today, pile number 2. So you've also got Michael with safety, and it's focusing on Mercury. Mercury is interesting because Mercury is like the communication, right? It's the first one to get the information from the sun. The first one to feel the solar flares. It's the one, you know, closest. So it's kind of seen sometimes as the communicator to the rest of the planets, you could say. It's also focusing on South Node and safety. It's interesting, South Node, or like South in a compass is the past, but it can also be our South Node and our birth charts, right? Which generally talks to like our comfort or what we're easily can just fall back in and stay comfortable in. And we've got safety, so this could be a message from Goddess even, because we've got the dove here, which reminds me of Goddess energy. And Michael, the one who cuts cords, who is protector, right? And is also seen as like a leader of some sort. Okay, we'll have a look what else comes through. Okay, talking about Mercury now, we've got the Akrabamalu and the cuneiform. Sorry I used this word. You can just use, if you ever get this deck, you can just use Scorpion King, right? Or Scorpion Man, half scorpion. This talks about friction, communication, and gossip. There's going to be a lot of mixed communication around now, especially if you are in the US and the election is either still going, not going, finished, not finished, I don't know. I'm, you know, talking to this from the past, so it could be anything. This is obviously timeless, though. But you know, just with that, I don't know what's happened or what's going on. But be mindful of what you communicate and what you speak to. What you speak to is going to be really important here. This isn't a time to like judge or criticize self, others, or anything. This is really a time to understand what's coming through, be discerning of the information that you're absorbing, be discerning of what you're consuming online, be discerning of what you are releasing or speaking outwardly, because remember, a child is listening. Someone else who might be going through other things is listening. People, there's no purpose or reason or rhyme to get upset and then get caught up in communication drama, right? It's literally like just all air. It's too much air. Like the internet is way too much air. It's just air. There's no substance. It's a lot of, I'm this way, so I'm just going to blurt out my beliefs, whether I actually believe it or not. It's just like, it depends on the intention, right? It can be just to cause problems, could be just complete misunderstanding. Or it could be just like, that's my truth and this is how I want the future of the world to look like, regardless of anyone else. I don't care, you know. So it's just being like, do I want to get caught up in that? What kind of thing am I consuming? Cuneiform is a way of writing. That's why a lot of old languages go from, instead of like, you know, written, which is left to right, because most people are right-handed, but when we're chiseling, right, we're going from right to left. So that's why it's like that. Well, I mean, maybe I think that makes sense to me, but like that's kind of how it feels. But anywho, like, what am I consuming? What am I getting caught up in? Being aware of yourself is key to like success in life to me. Like that's what key to success in life is, to be aware of my own shit, my own good, my own like things that I want to hide. They're my own challenges, my own self, my own emotions, Doesn't mean I know how to completely kind of like manage everything or like sort everything out or be perfect, right? Because no one's perfect, no one is going to be perfect. But being awareness is like key to life's success. It's kind of like what I want to say. I'm going to read Michael as well. Actually, I want to read this one. Interesting here, the fallen and the egoic star. This may not be you, because for some reason this doesn't feel like you. She feels foreign, but she doesn't normally seem foreign. And when I say foreign, I don't mean like from a foreign land. I mean just like someone else. So this one says ego trap, rock bottom and rise. Regardless of what's happened here and what things are happening in the world, what can you do to be the light, right? Even here, this person has kind of like fallen. You could see this is kind of like a fallen angel. Excuse me. And so if a fallen angel comes down to like, I don't know, a particular place, right? They've been in a space where they believed that everything was right. Her story is quite interesting. I'll just talk to her story. She's kind of like a watcher, you could say, watching the earth, and then is trying to, you know, shed light and share loving information, energy, that kind of thing. And then it's kind of like got caught up in the drama of earth, and then it started to influence or put their influence because they think they know what is right. And so that has kind of triggered the dissension, because it's like what you attach to or get drawn to instead of just observing and watching and kind of like channeling good energy and shifting negative energy, right? It's like, oh, but if this person didn't do that, this would have been better. I better come down here and start like fixing things, right? But when you do that, you have to like shed who you are, like at a core kind of thing. It's how it's kind of feeling. And so she's like, oh, whoa, I got too caught up in this drama. I forgot that I'm actually a soul or an angel, right? I've forgotten who I am because I've got caught up in the gossip, the misinformation. I wanted to like fight or argue some things because I thought I knew what was right. So it's kind of like she's caused her own fall, basically, by aligning and attaching to something that is like drama, gossip, or just like straight out a whole lot of bullshit, right? So it's an interesting one here. Like I said, this may be have you been in the past, or maybe just like a story that can help you understand why some people get very caught up and have really warped beliefs, right? All right, let's get Michael out. Michael feels like he's in really good energy. I don't know why that needs to be said, but it just feels like he's in good energy. All right. So Michael says, this card reassures you that Michael's protective energy is with you and your loved ones at this time. The powerful, assertive, masculine energy field that he emanates provides a shield against any energetic forms that are vibrating on a lower frequency. This is what I'm talking about. This is low frequency, right? Even this angel falling here is like, it's because they've attached to the lower vibration. It is a time for you to move forward with courage based on this protection, knowing that with Michael as a gatekeeper, you will only attract trustworthy people and events into your life. Yeah, get rid of these bitches. Have no worries for the safety of loved ones or your home. You have a divine sentinel in attendance. For those engaged in psychic studies and spiritual practices such as channeling, always ensure that you have asked for the presence of Michael to create a safe and protected space for you to work. I think it says for your work, but you know what I mean. So yeah, really nice here. You are perfectly safe. Don't get caught up in any drama. Some people are going through, it's interesting because this is coming through, but it's like some people at a collective level are going through an ascent and some people are going down. I always kind of like make a half joke of like, I think I know why some people think the earth is flat. It's because they've come out of like a lower vibration, even lower than earth, right? A 2D kind of thing, and they've gone into the 3D and they're like, the earth is flat because everything's flat kind of thing. And I mean, if it is, I'll figure it out when I'm going on my holiday because we'll be kind of circumnavigating the world. So You know, maybe it's like Pac-Man where he goes out one side and he pops out the other. I don't know. Maybe that's how it works. But anyway, jokes aside, it's like, it's an interesting thing. Like some people are coming up from there, and so they're just getting used to like this planet, right? Like, you know, just let them do their thing. And some people are going forward and further out into whatever's next. And so we're all kind of like, some are coming down, some are going up. It's kind of like a frequency wave, like it goes like this, right? So, you know, things are happening. Focus on your own journey and your own story, because you don't want to get caught up in someone else's story and then be somewhere that you never actually intended to be. Pretty much just chill. Orion activation. Supernova, recreation, renewal, rebirth by light. Wow, that's pretty powerful. This could be a great time for you and your soul. Oh wow, this came out in the first one as well. Stellar Gateway activation. It says here, infinite potential, manifestation vortex. Manifestation vortex is just like constantly renewing and refreshing energy. So these two coming through just right in the middle is why I said this one seems powerful. A supernova is when a star collapses and it explodes. But what does it do? All its information gets spread out to the universe. It's kind of like, let's say a star is like a whole lot of information. Now, while it's tightly balled up, it's staying where it is, right? It's in the archives in the Vatican, let's say. But when it kind of like explodes, it spreads it all out. It's kind of like all that information, hopefully not exploding, but like being walked out and shown to the rest of the world, being not hidden anymore. So it's kind of cool, right? That's kind of cool. Okay. Get you some more cards. So message of calm and peace. You're getting really interesting. You're getting a really interesting reading. Getting out of lack. You've got the Seven of Pentacles here. Sorry about the light. Seven of Pentacles here. And you can see here, I'm trying to plant seeds here. Why aren't they growing? Because this isn't the space you're meant to be in. Connect with yourself. Connect with the earth. Recognize that throwing seeds here, especially if you're like thinking about financial decisions, like I just need to make money so I can run away or escape. Slow down. You will get what you need. You may already have what you need, and once you trust in yourself and your abilities, and also in like your guidance, and that you're protected and safe no matter what you do, you won't be trying to do something. You'll be just knowing that it's already going to happen because you're going in the direction that you feel is correct for your highest good. If you kind of like, that's where surrender comes through. I've always had like a slight issue with surrender because it feels like giving up, right? But it's not. It's no longer feeling the need to fight or prove a point. It's just like, what is, and I know where I'm going and what I need to do and what my purpose is, what I need to bring into this world. I trust in that light, and so where it guides me, I will follow. And obviously, if I want to make decisions and stuff, you can. But ultimately, the guidance is there, and I trust and believe in it. This kind of came out reversed. I'm just reading all these. My intention was to read them all upright. And you've got the Strength card here, this lion type king with this little crown, right? And this person, it looks like it's her blanket. It's like, this is her protector. She isn't weak though, right? She's strength, but she recognizes what her power really is, and it's not like one over the top of. It's kind of like together we actually create something pleasing and helpful. So let's say it was a piece of fabric, and the piece of fabric wants to travel the world, and this woman wants to be warm, right? Piece of fabric can turn into a clothes for her, and get the piece of fabric gets to see the world. I know it's a bit silly, but that's kind of like how it's coming through, and that brings healing and brings also like balance into a new day. So while it was reversed, it's like, don't focus on the little negative niggly things unless they're yours that need to be brought into the light and shared or processed, right? Worked on. But I would say don't get too caught up into the nonsense of it all. All right. Peace and calm. Wow, this is this is pretty powerful pile too. You've got the star card. Sorry about the boobs. I don't get these monetized, so I don't have to hide them. So boobs can be out for now. And also infinite potential and manifestation vortex. This is hopes and dreams and following your guiding light, right? Instead of like overthinking over like testing or practical or anything. This is like, it's pretty freaking clear that this earth isn't going to grow or fruit anything. So instead of crying about it or worrying about it, finding what is actually going to bring me happiness and peace. And if it's not there today, it's okay. Just give it time. Know what it looks like, envision it, and then you'll see the opportunities that pop up. Because if you turn off those blinders, or like if you narrow your view to a way that you think it should come through, you'll miss the opportunities as they come through. But it's definitely there, right? You can really create something that's powerful, that gets you into a position of strength, and then also that has everything you need. You know, the King of Pentacles isn't so much about like hoarding more money or anything like that. He's actually like, I've created all this grain. Now I want to share it with everyone else so that everyone can prosper from it and have enough food, and so their children don't get sick, right? Or starve or anything like that. Like, it starts to be a betterment for the world. Wow, wow, wow. These three, you've got like ding, 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 the trifecta. You've got like this manifestation vortex, not seeing everything as limited, the star card, the hopes, the dreams, the goals, and then the wishes coming true, especially in alignment with the King of Pentacles. It's like, come on now. Nine of Pentacles. I love these two too, because they feel so it almost feels like young love, right? That not that fearful love of like, I need to be with you because otherwise I'm nothing without you. It's more like, I really see the benefit of myself and who I am, and I see and you see the benefit in you, and we see the benefit in us together as a couple. Like, that's kind of where this is coming from. It's really, really, really beautiful. Anyway, Nine of Cups, dreams coming true, wishes coming true, that kind of thing. Got the wish here, and then you've got the vortex there, and rebirth. So, you know, whatever's happened in the reality, you might think, but everything is bad, and it's like, no. That's it, no. I can't say anything else other than no. But, you know, don't try to grow seeds in shitty fields, or like, you know, stop it. Stop doing that to yourself. Empress, Queen coming through. Right. A continual cycle of divinity, it feels here with this Empress. This was like Goddess kind of coming through here as well. This isn't just the masculine pile that I thought it would be, because when I saw this card, I was like, this feels like very masculine energy for some reason. I got Michael, seen as like a more masculine angelic, right, or archangel. And then these cards coming through, and I was like, okay, but this is all about the blend of pleasures of masculinity and femininity. Your reading here today is to remind you of not getting caught up in the drama, touching grass, if you want to put it like that, recognizing that just because someone falls down or like goes down a dark path shouldn't stop them from being able to rise, right? It's kind of like, I was watching just before this someone who had gone into prison, and they were like, what's the prospects of coming out? And because of their race, because of their gender as well, they were kind of seen like there's not a lot that could actually be done. Like they won't get hired here, this kind of work is not possible. And so it's like, we're almost kind of like, they've gone through, they've paid their debts to society, if you want to see it like that, or whatever you want to take it as. I'm just neutral, I don't even know what the crime was, right? But regardless, it's like, if we have these things set in place but we can't have them rise up, then we're kind of demonizing them forever. It's kind of like with the story of the fallen angels, right? You can see them doing their thing up here, they fight, they come down, and then they go to wherever you believe in, and then what? They're just stuck there because that's what they have decided, so they can't move back up. I don't agree with that. I feel like beings of light can kind of go up, can come down, can go up, can come down. Beings of shadow can also come up. There should be always a pathway of like growth It's never just done and dusted in like whatever you've labeled yourself as at one point in time. That's you forever, right? But believe what you want. That's just how I want to bring that through, that message. But all this is just like, hey, this is a new opportunity to grow. See it as such. It's better to know that the land is barren than to keep trying to plant seeds in, what do you call it, toxic soil, when you have everything you need to go get what you want. The Empress is also creation. It's like being able to birth something new, and there's a lot of energy to be able to do that. So that's what I'm going to leave that there for you, pile number 2. I want you to think about this and see how this relates to you and where your priorities lie and what you're doing. If you're in your head a lot, this is a really good time to ground, because then you'll start to see more of the truth that's out there and what's real. Okay, thank you so much for letting me read for you today, pile number 2. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Hello, welcome to your reading today, pile 3. So you've chosen the titanium rainbow quartz. Interesting one for you, because I don't know, but some of you are celebrating something. I don't know. I think in spirit, you've kind of like awoken a specific aspect of yourself, which is perfect. Like whether you're feeling it is a good thing or not, it's just like new, right? If you leave a house and go into a new house, you might hate it immediately as a child, right? If they got kind of like forced. I mean, is it forced? I mean, you can't just leave the child there, right? So, you take them with you as adults, or your parents did, or whatever. Like, you kind of don't like it until you get used to it, and then you start to see the benefits of it. Maybe it has a better bath, or it's like the shower pressure or the water is actually much better. But you kind of like just focused on this, that, or the other in the past, and now this bit's opening up. And so your higher self and guides are celebrating something. That's I feel like overall people are just getting more awoken to the power of what love really is, not this romantic ideal, but this energetic force that is super powerful. So yeah, really cool card to come through. It says awakening all chakras, ultimate manifestation, vibrancy, and powerful shift. Another aspect that wanted to come through was like, you've chosen this because you were like, I don't know if I need this reading, but I think this one will be a fun message. So yeah, this is kind of cool. Thank you for getting that. I'll still focus on the topic of this, of course, because this is a message of calm, relief, to chill, basically, to get into that release of anxiety and stress and just calm with the beautiful energy that is. And this one's like almost like the opposite of calm, right? It's like high vibe, but that's okay, because it's like instead of calm, it's like bliss, getting into this euphoric kind of energy. So whether you feel that or not, that's just what's coming through. Sometimes that can translate to fear and like worry, because it's like something new's popped up or something different's happened, and you're like, well, now what does this mean? You'll get used to it, or you'll start to see the benefit in it really soon. Whatever's changed is going to bring some good energy. So worry about it. Well, you've got, yeah, exactly, evolution. I was like, Kamiao coming through. Kamiao's usually kind of like strong, right? Like, oh, it says here, what is it? God's strength. Yeah, it's like fierce energy, because it focuses in on Mars. But this has got evolution. This could be New Earth kind of like idea as well. Like the Earth's gone through many changes, right? It's been smashed up by even the moon, smacked into it, and they both, lost or like exchanged material, you could say. Might read Kamiao in a moment, but evolution coming through is quite amazing. That's why I was like, this is pretty cool. You might have completed part of your job on Earth as well. And you're like, what did I do? And it's like, you lived. You survived, you chose, you're here. You did it. Like against some of the odds too. yeah, reaping the benefit. You've got stealth, auspiciousness gained. Like that's what I said. What did I do? It's like you're undercover. You know, you're like a ninja. Maybe you don't even realize this, but in dream time you might be doing a whole bunch of stuff. I think you might actually start to awaken to this. Something popped up for me recently where I'd be dreaming about something. Oh, okay. There's just a bird popped past the window again. This crow, this magpie. I mean, truth, right? But yeah. So in dreams, I could see beyond or behind the dream to the truth. I'm just gonna knock on the wall because I think the bird is trying to pick at something. Okay, just getting it to like fly away. Ooh! Look at that, the chosen. It's like sorry. There is something happening outside. It's making strange sounds, but I'm just gonna ignore it. It sounds like someone's drilling or something, and I thought it was the bird, but I think it's like a fellow human. The song that was coming through with this card, with the chosen, the floral garland, I'll read it actually. Ascension, great shifts and blessing. Great shifts and ascension and blessings, like evolution. Like, you know, it's... I already picked it up with this card. Right, that's why I talk to it, and the cards that are coming through are like going, yo, yo, this is true. But the greatest, you know that song, the greatest alive. I don't know. I'm not a singer, right? I'm reading cards. This ain't American Idol. Not that American anyway, but anyway, it's really touching in on this is like your time to shine. You've achieved something and now you've opened up part of your DNA or your abilities, and you might be still searching for it, but it's like it's already there. It just needs to be practiced. I don't know what this might be. It could be, you know, I mean, even feeling like this feels limited by talking about one of the clairs or all the clairs, or even mediumship or whatever, right? Connecting with loved ones, or even psychic abilities and stuff like that. Almost those feel limiting. This is something uniquely you. And it feels greater than just a quote-unquote ability, right? It's like a piece of your soul has been brought back into you and integrated, and that's so much better. Well, so much more important, it feels. So, yeah, I don't know what you've done, but this feels like the high vibe reading. Oh, okay, maybe it is something to do with the clairs. You've got the third eye chakra, third eye activation, brow chakra, which is third eye chakra, inner vision, and clear seeing. Yeah, you've unlocked it. You've unlocked it, you got it. You snuck into the vaults and you got it. The vaults are your vaults anyway. It's not like you've got this from someone else and taken it from them. It's actually you've just gone into challenging parts of your psyche or your soul, right? And liberated a part of you. What a wild reading. Oh, okay. Earth Intelligent Wisdom Transmission. Look at this. Anyway. You've also got this little rainbow here, which kind of highlights the rainbow aura quartz. So you've got Gaia Gateway activation. Yeah, you've kind of done, I think you've done something on Earth, which is like brought in a new wave of energy. So I don't know what that is. I don't know what you've done, but it's good. Like, good work. Congratulations. Be kind to yourself. Don't be a mean bitch to yourself, right? Be kind to yourself, because you're doing good. You're doing good work. Stay and keep going. Like, keep doing your thing, because you're starting to get a lot of the benefits from it that you may have wanted or may not have wanted. You're just like, Oh, I didn't even know I wanted this. Now I'm glad I got it. But this talks about learning experiences, wisdom, transmission, earth intelligence. You're teaching, and also you are a teacher, right? What was I trying to say? You're a teacher, and you're also a student. Like you're kind of like the transmission through the heartache or the challenge, right? The Mars is also seen as war, right? And war is deemed as pretty negative, and war is pretty negative. But on that's the shadow side, is like conflict that leads to that. The positive side is even the friction, and like we can see as negative. But if you think about it in particles, when you're heating your food up in the microwave, the waves are going through and they kind of like hit the particles of the food and they vibrate, and that's why it heats. It's because they're like, and so that kind of like creates some kind of momentum or whatever in the food, and that brings it into being warm and clear of anything that could have been in there, like that was living, right? Or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. It's just like heats it up and makes it safe and healthy. Anyway, this feels good. This feels good. You've had to go through it to get to the benefits of what you've gained. Whatever you've gone through has got you to here, and here is exactly where you needed to be. So well done, pile 3. Well done. Whee! This is cute. It feels like a different card. It kind of feels like, oh, this is it. It kind of feels like the 6 of Wands. But you got the 6 of Pentacles here, bringing balance, sharing gifts, sharing ideas, starting to feel more comfortable and confident in who you are is coming through, and being able to help and support others. It's so funny because it reminds me, like, not that I'm trying to toot my own horn, but when I left my job and stopped working, I earned a lot less than money. And so I started to go on Twitch and do card readings. I mean, I was already doing Twitch, but anyway, changed to card readings. And the money I make from that, I always put in around about half, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, just, I'm just going to be real with it. It's not always exactly half to the cent, but whatever I make a month, which isn't huge amounts, but I give half to certain charities. And I was actually thinking about it yesterday, because last month, or this month, like October, I did what did I do? No, I did Doctors Without Borders, and the month before that, I did Conservation Australia, which is like buying up land and rewilding it with plants and animals, which is really cool, because sometimes it's just like a small amount of land and all these species come back in. It's like really beautiful. It's not always going to be like forever, right? Because then they have to go out and try to find some more land, but better than nothing. Better than not trying. Like it's quite nice. Anyway, and you would have thought, well, why didn't I do that before? And it's like my headspace was in fear and lack of funds, right? Even though I was working. And now I have less than what I had before, monetary wise, but I'm so much more wealthier, mentally, spiritually. And that's just my personal take on it. But yeah, it feels like that. So it like, you could be going through that kind of energy shift as well. Okay. Yeah, this is like a whole new world for you. Start bringing in those new ideas. Get creative with this. Touch your intuition, especially, I don't know, I don't usually like just going, this is for the woman or men or whatever, but especially if you're a female, like, I don't know why, maybe this is just for a few females, but even if you're a male, like, whatever, energetically, if you're a feminine energy, this is like super powerful for you because you're trusting in what you can create and do. And this isn't about hustling and trying to force a narrative through. This is about believing and trusting in your own intuition. Whatever your intuition tells you now, whether it comes true or not, is correct, I would say. I would say 100% trust it. That's it. Got the Four of Pentacles too. It's kind of interesting because this always makes me think of seeking help or assistance, right? It's like, okay, I know where I've been hiding certain things, or like I've awoken this, but it's opened up now. I need to deal with this thing that I hid in the past, and it's kind of, that's why where the fear can come through. It's like you're becoming more you, but when you become more you or more in tune with you, you reopen the things that you hid from yourself in the past, right? So old abilities, old realities, old pains, and trauma even could be coming up here. So you have an opportunity to hold back or to seek assistance where it's needed. Take your time with that if it is really heavy, right? But it's going to unlock this Ace of Wands, this new beginning, this birth, this new birth. Yeah, I feel like that's why the Five of Cups is coming through too. Processing grief for some reason is coming through here as well. Things that have been in the past that might have been really, really difficult to deal with. You know, take your time. There's no harm in it, but remember, you are awakening, you are opening up, you are gaining gifts. And so the more you understand about yourself, the more you're aware of yourself, the more you are in tune with yourself, means that certain things will pop up from the past that you have hidden to survive or to help yourself back then to really like bloom now and overcome it. So yeah, this is really cool. This is going to be really good. It might even improve your health and fitness for some reason. I don't know how, but like you might start to be like, oh yeah, I can just go for a run, or jog, or, you know, gym or play sports, whatever. Yeah, the past. The key to the future is in the past in some way. Not to relive it, just to recognize it, accept it, shine a light on it, and move beyond it, because here it's like, I don't know, there's something empowering about this for some reason. Sometimes it looks kind of like melancholy, which is true too, but this one, I don't know, it feels like she's more than the past, like she's more than who she was. Maybe this is where the feminine energy is coming through. Yeah, it's all well and easy to say something like, you know, to move on from the past, you just kind of forgive it, move on. But this is really like acknowledging and accepting certain things that have occurred, right? So, yeah. Okay, what else do you want to say about this reading today? Yeah, you're the Magi. You're the creator. You're the creative energy. And you're starting to remember that. No aspect or being or person is higher than you. No angel, no god, no goddess, no deity, no spirit guide, no prisoner, no criminal, no parent, no healer, no anyone. No one is higher or lower than you are. Like, this is how it's coming through. And when you recognize that, you can be in a place where you can start to process and heal some of these old wounds. You know, it's not like it's really, 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 really crazy or anything. They might have been, but you know how far you've come from it. It gets really difficult when it's like you're so good with a certain past trauma, let's say, and you're able to, you know, move on and see the benefit of who you are, that someone brings it up and it's like, oh, that's easy for you. And it's like, that's their trauma, right? That's being like, they're stuck in whatever they're in. You don't have to go back down and be like, oh, actually, I had to go through this or that or whatever. It's be like, you know, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I don't believe that, and that's not my truth. I've gone through what I've gone through and overcome it, and I don't need to like wallow in it anymore. So yeah, when you're ready, pick up your, you know, your elements, because they represent the elements, the cups, wands, pentacle, etc. So yeah, this is really cool. You've come and done something here on Earth. You've learned something. You've grown from it. Even if you feel like the Earth is going crazy, it's actually shifting and vibrating higher. You have vibrated higher. I have to read the evolution card. I almost forgot. But I'm going to leave this one till last. So we're going to read Kamiel with evolution. Okay, where is it? Sorry, I just had people walk past, our neighbours walking the kids. I guess that's a thing, right? Walk the kids. Evolution. Alright, so Kamael. Kamael says, through this card, Kamael reminds us of formation and evolution of planets as part of not just our solar system, but the universe as a whole. God has created the universe with perfect symmetry. The great architect has ensured the perfect interconnected design. Consider gravity, which not only governs the trajectory of planetary orbits, but also our physical condition on Earth. Consider the magnetic fields around the Earth, which prevent the leakage of stellar radiation into our atmosphere. Inherent in the creative force is the force that keeps things in perfect motion. The degeneration and regeneration process, or decline in growth and operation. The macrocosm is reflected in the microcosm, and so it is that our attention is drawn to the physical programming of our own body cycle of life and death. Notice how our skin sheds cells and replenishes them on a daily basis. So it's not anything new. This message isn't anything new. This is something that constantly happens within us. It is something that is kind of big and you could say new, but evolution and transformation is second, daily, minute by minute, day by day, second by second. It's constantly in perpetual motion. Even our planet, right, in our solar system is hurtling through space. We're not just sitting here and the planets are just like moving around the sun. They're also like spiraling towards what's known as the Great Attractor, right? So it's constantly changing the universe. The universe is constantly expanding and moving outward and growing. So while that's happening, so are we, and so is our evolution on this tiny little rock in the middle of, probably not in the middle, but in the Milky Way, in that one galaxy out of potential billions, right, of galaxies. So anyway, very interesting and kind of fun little reading for you today. Well done in whatever you've bought in. This is a time for you to be in your belief in self and trust, and to recognize gifts for gifts, and even perceived weaknesses as actually blessings and something you can grow from or learn from or share and help and provide for others. There was this person, I was watching something, I'm finishing up your reading, but I was watching something online, actually on TV, and it was a documentary, and this person had gone through pretty much a really toxic, challenging, horrible situation in prison, and then has come out and kind of like spoke to it, and that has helped people like her in prisons in different places, right, to not go through that, to be able to have provisions that weren't available to people like her. And so since she's gone through all that, she's actually being able to help other people, and it hasn't stopped her. Like, it's still a pain, right, it's still a trauma, but it hasn't stopped her from being herself and being true to her. It hasn't been like she's just revolted and kind of like withdrawn and stayed bitter. She's like processing it. It's going to be a long process, just like any healing is. It doesn't snap your fingers and it's all done. But she's done certain things. She was like, well, who else was going to do it, right? If I didn't say something or do something, then it wasn't going to get done. And people have written to her like lovely messages of like, this really saved my life and helped me, her story and things like that. So you never really know how things are going to come through. It does suck when it has to go through a challenging process or something horrible. But if it changes certain things in the world, it just takes one person, that's how it is. So yeah, really beautiful message as well today, pile number 3. I'm going to leave that there. If you have any questions, feel free to comment and I'll answer them as best I can. Otherwise, take care of yourself and I will see you in the next reading.